Yes, good afternoon viewers. Welcome yet to another edition of the Africa in Sports show. And I am your host, OJ Jallo. We are right here at Sunbird Beach Bar and Restaurant. It's a breezy afternoon here, of course, and we are here for the analysis of the Morocco and the Portugal game. Right here with me, I have Mr. Baji, who is a familiar face, of course. Mr. Baji, welcome to Africa in Sports.
OJ, thank you for having me today again to analyze this game between Portugal and then Morocco. I'm glad to be back here again.
Thank you very much. It's going to be an interesting encounter. Today, Morocco will be locking horns with Portugal. It's a win for either of the teams or they will be going home. So, what are your thoughts about the game? How do you balance the two teams? Because looking at Portugal, in the round of 16 game, they trashed Switzerland 6-1, and Morocco took lock horns with Spain, and then they took the game to extra time. Most people, their prediction would have been Spain will knock Morocco out. So what are your analysis of these two? How do you see these two teams comparatively for today's game?
Well, thank you once more. And I think, like you mentioned, this is a heavyweight game. This is one of the most interesting game that will be for this round of games in the World Cups and the 2022 World Cup finals. When you look at Portugal and then Morocco, I think these are teams that have played interestingly huge football, and then looking at the groups that they come from. When you look at Morocco, for instance, they've played against the likes of Belgium, the likes of Spain, and then Portugal has played the likes of Switzerland to come to this level. This is going to be an interesting encounter. Portugal has one of the biggest squads in this World Cup. Looking at their teams, they are full of superstars from their goalkeeping center area to the strikers, the attackers, and the midfielders. But then, when I look at this Moroccan team, I think they have that discipline, and then I think going into this game as underdogs, respectable underdogs for in this round. I'm looking at the teams that they've already knocked out of this tournament. Belgium and then Spain. So Portugal, I think they'll be wary of this. They will be too careful, and then I think Morocco has earned that respect in this tournament. So I think Portugal would not just look at Morocco as that underdog that they can knock out easily. So the game would have to be played. I think when you look at these quarterfinals, Argentina, Brazil, they've all played to extra time. So this can tell you, okay, this level is this is a serious business for any team, that any nation that is involved in this level. But when you look at Morocco, I think what they've done, they have stick to their games. They've stick to their games, and then they've been disciplined with their tactics. They've played like a single game. When you look at all games that they've played, they've from the onset, from the first minute, they've played that disciplined game. Okay, but then when I look at the Portuguese team, I think they still, this is why Morocco is still going to be considered as the underdog. Portugal, when you look at their squad, you can look at this as two different squads. They can fill in different 11s, and then which are still capable of winning games.
We've seen them doing that their last game.
They have that ability.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Today successively he's been benched likewise.
That speaks a lot.
Youngster, the 21-year-old, coming for his debut, and then he's scoring a hat-trick. I think that sends a message that Portugal are right there, and then looking at Morocco also. Morocco is ranked 22nd in the FIFA ranking, and Portugal is ranked 9th. But that is just on paper.
That's a paperwork.
That's just on paper, because we've seen interesting games happening. Okay, we've seen Brazil, the Samba boys, being knocked out by Croatia yesterday, and then we've seen Argentina and the Netherlands. Okay, Argentina leading 2-0, and then Netherlands coming from behind equalizing and taking the game to extra time, and even possibly they could have won the game, but unfortunately things went the way they did in favor of Argentina winning from the penalty spot. I think there have been interesting games so far, and then today's game, I don't think there's anything like underdogs here, because that is just on paper. So we are looking forward to an interesting game, of course, here at Africa Renaissance TV and Africa in Sports show. And I am your host, OJ Jallo. Mr. Baji, thank you very much. We're looking forward to having a wonderful game, and then hoping to have an interacting encounter with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, OJ.
Yes, welcome back viewers here at Africa in Sports in Africa Renaissance TV. Right here we are at Sunbird Beach Bar and Restaurant. It's halftime, and it's Morocco 1 and Portugal 0. Mohamed, welcome back.
Well, thank you. That was an interesting half of football.
Yes.
I think Morocco, like we said,
Yeah.
they've not disappointed, and then I think Portugal would really accord that respect to Morocco. They've played football. It was a beautiful football. And a
Definitely. Morocco is having such a ride. It's an electrifying ride for Morocco.
Sure.
And then Morocco is there to represent the Arab world and Africa at large. And then irrespective of what happens today, Morocco will go down in the history of football in the Qatar 2022 finals. Now, Morocco is leading by 1 goal to 0, Mr. Mohamed. And then, how are you feeling right now?
Well, I think the feeling is ecstatic. It's that great. And but then this is something that does not really surprise me. Like I said in the beginning, when you look at this Moroccan team, they are full of that belief, that self-confidence already that is guiding their play towards the end of the half. When you look at the game initially, in the first quarter of the game, the Portuguese team dominated the play, and they had to come up with that tactic of playing that fast game and then attacking. When you look at their ball recovery in the first 15 minutes of the game, it was like within 10 seconds they recover the balls back. But then I think what the Moroccan team did was like to maintain their pace and then play at their own level. And then they were able to up their game in the second quarter of the game. And then that is when we see even the position torn against the Portuguese team. And then I think what the coach did was an interesting thing. And when you look at the midfield composition, the Portuguese team were dominating the midfield in the first quarter. But then eventually we see the Moroccan team overshadow them in the midfield. And then even the wing backs, they were able to shut them down from the wings. I think so. Those were interesting things. When you look at the likes of Hakimi has kept João Felix literally not in the game. So I think those are interesting facts for us. And like I said, when you look at them, and one of the things that the Portuguese team can use is to use set pieces against them. But Morocco can stand that because they have the height and the discipline to match them to that. So generally, I think it was one of the best halves for Morocco. And then the second half, I think they will do better than that.
Generally, it was among the best halves for Morocco. Now, looking at Morocco, their record in this World Cup, okay, they have been very disciplined defense-wise. Because looking at Morocco for the past 4 games, they happened to concede only 1 goal, and which of course was an own goal. And then today also, as the trend is going, they are leading 1 goal to 0. They yet to concede any goal. Okay, against Spain. Spain has a very good team. Spain trusting their opponents during the group stages. Okay, Costa Rica that is, and then coming to face Morocco. People were expecting Spain would have dominated the game, but Morocco were able to maintain the game up to extra time and then winning from the penalty spot. And then coming today also, Morocco are very disciplined defense-wise. And then looking at the game is a very intense game.
It is.
Okay, it's a very intense game. And then but Morocco were able to maintain themselves to that composure. And then the attacking, I think the Morocco, their mode of attacking is perfect. And then we've seen Ziyech and the likes of Buffal. But what surprised me is their 21-year-old, that is Unahi.
He's an interesting player to watch, and I think he's not just a footballer for the future, but presently he's doing wonders. His ball control, the way he breaks line, I think he's able to match and then overshadow Bruno Fernandes in that midfield area. And that is important for them. I think going forward, they don't just need that discipline, but then going forward, those breaking defensive break lines are important for Morocco, and they're able to do that. And then I love the striking. Like when you look at the strikers, they are able to capitalize on their chances. And then this goal was not the only thing. They had chances, and then they are playing. And now the Portuguese team will have to come up with something different. They will have to present them with a different game plan. If not, Portugal is going out.
Definitely, Portugal is going out as it stands right now because Morocco is leading 1 goal to 0. But now, looking at Morocco, if Morocco should win today, Morocco will either be playing against the French or the English.
Most definitely, which will be a great encounter. But I think what they've shown here, when you look at the beginning, like playing against the second best ranked team in the world, in Belgium, and they are able to have their positive results. Playing against Spain, one of the best possession-based football teams, and then they were able to contain them and then take them to penalties and then win. And looking at this first half against Portugal, this Portuguese team is full of superstars, and then they are able to contain them, not just play against them, but then dominate them in almost all aspects of the game. To me, that is something. So in the second half, they can come knowing that, okay, all they need is to have a killer goal, or maintain their position, leading by 1,
to have
which is a great position to be in.
Their position. Because during the pre-match analysis, we are talking about, okay, this other team being underdogs. There's nothing like underdog, like we say, because at this stage of the football, Morocco came out top in their group. I think it's the first time that an African country is coming out top from the group at the World Cups. Okay, now looking at Morocco, how do you see Morocco in this competition to
Well, I think they are a team to be a serious team to be considered potential fighters for the title, for the champions. When you look at this Moroccan team, they've a good blend of youth and then experience. Their players are really exposed in top leagues in the world. So I think then when you look at their ball controls, they are a very technical team, and they have that physicality. I mean, in terms of height, to match any team. So when you look at that, and then the coach is that person that has given them the belief that, okay, this team has the support of not just the Morocco, but then the whole of Africa is behind them. So carrying that load is an important thing for them. That, to me, that has given them that confidence to know they have that support, and then they can go out there and represent the whole continent, be themselves. And then looking at this first half, I think they've done just that. They've really managed to boost their morals and then communicate their presence in these World Cups.
Communicate their presence in this World Cup. Of course, expectations are high, but the pressure isn't. Yeah,
definitely.
Moroccans and Africa at large and the Arab world are already proud of this Moroccan team. Okay, because they've did something that is it's amazing, of course, because looking them ranked second, okay, 22nd, of course, and then locking horns against Portugal, who is ranked 9th, of course, and then dominating the game. Okay, I think that's a surplus for Morocco, and we as an African continent here at African Renaissance TV, we are really proud of Morocco, and we are hoping and praying that Morocco will become victorious, Mr. Mohamed. But what's your prediction finally on the game? Since
in the final prediction, I would love to say a 2-1 win for Morocco, because I can still look at the Portuguese team. I think they have enough in their bench to change the game. So I think Morocco will have to maintain this standard and then look for the killer goal, the second goal to kill the game off. But then they should be wary of Portugal. The Portuguese team has they have that ability to bring in game changers. I think when I look at the likes of Rafael Leo, and then you have
and the greatest player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, is on the bench.
Cristiano can also come in and change the game anytime. So I will still be hopeful that Portugal can score, but then Morocco would go on to win the game.
Morocco will go on to win the game. Thank you very much, Mohamed. We hope Morocco will win the game, and then we'll be back here for the post-match analysis, of course. Thank you very much. Welcome back, viewers. It has all ended here at Sunbad Bar and Restaurant Bijulo. Now it's Morocco 1 and Portugal 0. And of course, I am your host, Oye Jalo in Africa Renaissance Sport. With me, Mr. Baji. The game has ended in favor of Morocco.
It has finally ended with a beautiful history. I think this is one of those days that we really love sports, and then it's one of those days that we are proud to be Africans, we are proud to be sport lovers, and I think anyone, even the neutrals, would have loved the game. It was one of those high-intensive games that produced quality. It didn't disappoint, and I think Morocco didn't disappoint.
Morocco didn't disappoint, of course, because they have written their names in the history books of football. Morocco are the first African team to make it to the semi-finals, and the first Arab nation to make it to the semi-finals, of course. And Morocco did what they did, of course. They have won the game.
It was interesting. It was interesting, and I think this is those days that we can look at football. It's beautiful. Like I said, Morocco has taken the game to Portugal. They didn't just go there to make numbers. They played football, and then the result mattered for them, and then it was positive. Even though this is not going to be true for Portugal, they played football, and then unfortunately for them, they are going back, and then for the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Pepe, for instance, this is going to be their last World Cup. Unfortunately, they cannot lift the trophy. And I think we can look at this Moroccan team to have that potential to go beyond the semi-finals for the first time. And whatever happens in the finals, I think
we can be proud of Morocco. We can be proud of.
We are already proud of Morocco, and there is no pressure. Though expectations are high, but no pressure on Morocco. Morocco have already made the African continent and the Arab world proud and glad. But now, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, I think I kind of pity him with all the success that he have in the football world, and taking him. Obviously, this will be his last World Cup. Cristiano looking at his age, and likewise Pepe. Oh, and he just left right after the game, and then we saw him crying. It was very sad for him. And but on the contrary, we are very happy as Africans, as Morocco has made history and the first African country to make it in the semi-finals. I think they deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve it. It was a deserved week. They played. They upped their game in the second half, like you said. They maintained that even though they knew Portugal would have to come up with a different game plan and then attack with all they had, which they did, and then Morocco was able to consume that pressure and still able to contain their game and then keep their 3 points alive. And I think this is important for them. Going forward, I think this is not going to be history for them, but it's going to be a turning point for them. This is one of those experiences that really count in their lives as footballers, as a nation, that they can go out there, compete with one of the best in the history of football, and then still be able to have those 3 points that matter. When you look at this Moroccan team, one of the most beautiful things is not just the 3 points that they've been able to accumulate, but when you look at them, this is a young team. Yes, we have the likes of Roman Size, but then we still have these young footballers that are coming up, and then they're able to play and then contain one of the best midfields in the world. I think to me that is important. It's an important representation for not just Morocco but Africa at large. So when you look at this and then you still, we are going to be hopeful for the future for Africa. When you look at teams like Morocco, like we said this of the Ghanaian teams, the Senegalese team, they have like those youth that are there to sustain some of these successes that we are able to accrue in this short period. And I think Morocco would really take the flag of Africa higher than it is.
They have already taken the flag of Africa higher, because Morocco has changed the narratives. Okay, what people have, the concept that people have in African football, because they are the first African nation to make it past the quarterfinal. We've seen Cameroon coming in the 1990s. Okay, up to the quarterfinal, they were knocked out. Senegal coming in 2002, and equally Ghana coming in 2010, and then having 2022 finals in Qatar. Morocco going all the way to the semi-finals, and we are hoping that with what I've seen, because Morocco don't just play beautiful football, Morocco score goals, and then they are very disciplined when it comes to their defense. Because looking at Morocco, they are one of the teams that conceded less goals in this competition here. Okay, because looking for the past 4 games, they were only conceded 1 goal, which was in fact a own goal. So I think Morocco.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their goalkeeper. You know, Bono is one of the standout performance in this tournament. And I think at some point he was going to compete with Alisson of Brazil for her to concede fewest goals in the game. But then Alisson is already out, so he has that chance to extend those clean sheets. And then I think the Golden Glove can also come to Africa to make this. I think he has that capacity. I think with the level they are playing, they can do that. And then the coach, like you said, being an interim coach, of having taken the team in this short period of time, and then being able to make the whole team march in one direction in terms of performance, in terms of ambition. I think that is a great career for him that has started for him. Because bringing the likes of Hakimi, Ziyech, Hakimi, and then together, these are big players playing for one of the best teams in the world, and then being able to bring them into one level without ego, and then one of the best things for this Moroccan team is not just their ability to defend as defenders, but then the whole team defense. Their defending starts from the top. When they attack, they all attack upwards. So I think that is one of the best. I think
it's a complete team, I would say.
It's a complete team.
This is what we call a team. Because Morocco doesn't look at, we are relaxing and relying on one man to do the job for us. We are going all out, and then we are scoring goals, and then we come in with defending together. Because looking at Morocco in the second half, what they were playing counter football. Because Portugal were trying to push the play to their half. But yes, Morocco noticed that I think Wally did a very good job there, okay, bringing his team and then everybody was behind the ball, and then they were doing that counter-attack football, which almost paid dividend for them because they had a chance to punish the Portuguese team, but unfortunately,
and this comes after the red card. So it was those best 5 minutes of their lives that they played. Yes. When you look at the game and then we've gone to almost additional time, and then they are already a man down. You are leading, and the Portuguese team has taken that pressure to them, but they are still able to contain them. So to me, that experience is going to guide them for the next stage. Whether be it France or England, anyone that comes, I think this as a standard will help them proceed to the next level.
This as a standard will help them proceed to the next level. Now, looking at Morocco, they have already built that self-confidence in them. Because looking at Morocco has knocked out one of the, Belgium, ranked second in the world, having one of the best midfielders in the world. Okay, and then coming against Spain, we know sent a very important message against Costa Rica, trashing them 7 goals to 1. I think looking at Morocco, they are making life good for them.
I think they're having one of the toughest road to the semi-final. Yeah, so that would be a positive bonus for them. Playing one of those toughest teams, like look at Belgium and Spain and then Portugal now. These are not those small teams in the world. These are one of the best teams, and then at the beginning of the finals, the World Cup finals, everyone would have tweeted them as a possible finalist. And so having to knock them out at this stage really is a credit to Morocco.
Credit to their coach, of course, like we were saying, okay, he's an interim coach, of course, and then he came just 2 months prior to the World Cup, and then it seems as if he's been there for a very long time. I think credit is due to Morocco and then Africa as large, and here at Africa Renaissance TV now, we should be really proud of it.
We are really proud of them.
Yes, we are really proud of Morocco. And thank you very much, viewers. This brings us to the end of our post-match analysis, of course. And then right here we are at Sunbat Restaurant, and here is a beautiful atmosphere. I can feel the breeze right now here. And then you can come and make your orders. Right here is the menu. You can make your takeaways, and then of course we have steak sandwich, beef kebab, chicken and chips, domoda, okay, burgers, yeah, beef wrap chickens, shrimp wrap chickens, tuna salads, and the list goes on. You can make all your orders here, right at Sunbat. We are located at Vigil. Thank you very much. Until we come your way on another edition of the Africa Renaissance Sports, and I am your host, Ojay Jalo, and of course, Mr. Baji. It's a pleasure to always have you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.